ヒーガーストーリー。すべて謎です。アーカイブにアクセスするための検索ワードを入力してください。殺人で入力すると、これが出ると。こっから始まるんだよね。コンピュータテクノロジーは現代の警察活動の根幹の担うものであり、このロジックデータベースは我々の仕事の流れを、デジタル化し、より活用、ちょっと待って。反射がめちゃくちゃ眩しいな。犯罪に対するための最重要ツールとしてコンピューターの需要は今後も一層高まっていくことが予測できます。このデータベースはポーツマス凶悪犯罪関連アーカイブスにより集められたビデオ映像が収納されています。このデータは ASR テクノロジーによって自動的に整頓され、視覚証言は個別のクリップに保存されているため、それぞれのキーワードを追加することで、フォートエンド演出などのなるほど。これね、リードミーね。で、リアリーリードミー。こいつデータベースだ。情報公開法に伴って、申請し、ゲストとしてのアクセス権を取得しておいては見たところちゃんと起動しているようだな。オリジナルのビデオテープからの移行は1999年に行われたみたいだが、その後の Y2、2000年問題ね。こいつは放置されたままになって、残念ながら刑事の映像が入ったサーバーの方は見つけられなかった。あるいは1997年の洪水の際にやられてしまったかも。何にせよこれだけの情報としても、十分なはずさ。SB さん。SB37 ハークグロハークハッキングされてる。なんか顔が出てる。クラックスウィズクラスわかんないです。ミニゲームってやつね。時計。23時。今20違うな。とりあえず、一番最初、何も押さなかったら殺人だけ入ってたんで、殺人の証言を見ていけばいいのかな。再生。
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
何年だこれ。終わった。ちょっと待って。
You think it's murder?
殺人だと思う？
I mean,
キーワードでビデオが分布されてる、なんていうの？区別されて保存されてるんだと思うんだけど。短すぎ ?11 秒。はい。で、これは同じ人かな ?94 年の1月7日なのかな。ちょっとアメリカ方式だからわかんない。6月27日。ってことは、それより前、7月1日か。そういうことだね。次ってことか。
Yeah, that's me. But February, that was months ago.
2月。
What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
で、次は2日後。
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now.
すげえ、よく。
You have no murder weapon. You have
この
nothing.
ワードに反応してるってことね。
And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
この人が冤罪にかけられそうになっているってこと。サイモンの事件で冤罪にかけられそうになっているってこと。サイモンでいく。サイモン。検索。いっぱい出る。嘘。94年6月18日。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows. artistic things, really beautiful things.
サイモンは、ガラス会社に勤めていると。ガラス職人なのかな。同じの、細分化しすぎじゃない？だって3分後とかじゃん。
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and
ザ・ロッ
Susan.
ク。
There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink
ザ・ロ
with.
ックという店
And the
に、
barmaid they're having sometimes.
サイモンが行って、
Peter said
ヘ
Simon had been
レ
there
ン
and
が
had a few drinks.
ヘレンもいる。こういうなんかちょっとしたキーワードをここに入れていくと多分関連の動画が見れて、アーカイブに残った情報が見れる。
Yes, there's an Amstrad one.
ストラッ
No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you
ア
can
ムストラット
write
って
letters
メー
on
カーあるの
it.
かな。
Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
関係なさそう。どれが関係あるかわかんないよね。だから関係ありそうなやつはセッションに保存しておけば見れるのか。この辺、どれだっけ？
It's the Rockington
これだ。
Arms, the Rock.
これは保存しておくか、じゃあ。次。
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or
あ、じゃあ、いなくなった
there
の
must
か
have
な。
been some kind of accident.
サイモンが、
So what do we do next?
でも殺人なんで呼び出されてるかわかんない。この人は何なの？
Thanks. Please find Simon.
ああ、恋
I
人
love
な
him
のね。
so much.
はいはい。はい、じゃあ、さっきの証言にあった、ザ・ロック。ザ・ロック。検索。あは。これがさっきの見たやつね。この保存されてるやつ。6月18日。で、これが同じ日付の20秒前。細分化しすぎだった。
So, it
あ
was
は
Friday
あ
evening. We
あ
had an
ちょっと確信
argument.
が。
He left. On Saturday, he didn't come
あ
back.
もう名前が出てきすぎ
I
る。
waited all
エ
day.
リック。
He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job.
エリックが電話で、
So
職場の
was
同
staying
僚
on
な
the
のかな。
phone. I checked at the Rock. That's how
Aye,
they
aye.
call. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not
金
since.
曜の夜。
He still wasn't back this
ただ
morning.
土曜の夜の話をしてる。
Isn't like him at all.
金曜、そうなの書いて
Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you.
あ、そういうことね。
His parents haven't heard anything either.
はいはいはい。で、最初の時系列に戻ると、この女の人が弁護士を呼ぶわって言ってるのは、こいつが、彼を殺してどっかに隠したという疑いをかけられているから、多分弁護士を呼ぶわっていうことになってるんで、ここでは探しに来たという体で、よくある、なんか、探しに、失踪届を出しに来て、実はその実自分が殺してましたみたいな。で、これが同じとか ?94 年6月25日。ああ。あれ
Oh God, I don't
あ
know. I mean, I guess the Rock. We've spoken to everyone
あ。
there.
7月の時点で
Someone
めちゃく
must
ちゃ
have
疑
seen
われ
the
てるっていうのこれ
payment.
女の人は。
I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
短っ。じゃあザ・ロックの人に聞けという。なんだっけエリック。エリックと、ちょっと待って、これをもう一回見るか。
It's the Rockington Arms.
ピーターとスーザン。ちょっと待って。あ、じゃあ、ピーター、スーザン。どっちでもあるか。スーザンとエレンだっけ
It's the Rockington Arms. The barmaid they're having
Helen.
sometimes.
ヘレン、スーザン。まあ、ヘレンかね。なんか店員はあんまり、でも店員の証言を聞きましたみたいな証言があるのかな。お、出た。これは18日。同じ日付の1分後。
think he spoke to Helen.
ヘリン・ニ
She
コー
said
ル
he was upset about her argument,
さっ
but
きの
I'm not sure what else he
あ
said.
違うか。
He likes Helen. He likes
ブロン
Helen.
ドの女がヘレン。はい。なるほどね。じゃあ、スーザン。いや、これなんだ。ああ。俺が検索をした履歴、眩しい電気。これオプションで変えれんのか。変えれないっぽいな。こっち。見づら。アンチグレア。見やすい。リアリティはちょっとなくなるかもしれないけど。よく夜勤事件とかも、ね、アンチグレア効きすぎてわけわかんないことね。あと何があったかな。ピーター。
It's the Rockington
ピー
Arms.
ター。ピーター。あらあら。じゃあ、あとなんだっけ、サイモン。ああ、さっき見たか。あ、サイモンは違う。あいつか。失踪したやつだったか。ごめん、誰だっつったっけ？同僚なんつったっけ？ガラスわお。ガラスでこんなに反応するの？ちょっと一個一個見ていくか。
No, he doesn't have any tattoos.
ああ。
He has a scar down here near his stomach.
他からお尻にかけて傷がある。
Cut himself with some glass.
ああ。
That was before.
そこで反応するの、ガラスは。
He looks just like the photo.
目
He's
が
not
ね。
got his glasses on here though. He
こ
takes
れ
them
メ
off
モ
for the
しとかない
camera.
と結構。
But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much or watching TV. He likes TV.
なんかすげえ若い男の人を想像したけど、年齢がもしかしてもっと上なのかな。で、これが日付が違うね、多分。25日。
I did. Well, we met when we were 17, both working
あ
at
あ、やっぱガラス
Glazier's.
屋なのね。同じ同僚ってことね。で、愛していると。25、2分後。
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full time at the Glazier's.
ああ、じゃあ普通に
That
やっ
was
ぱ
Eric's
若い子なんだ。
generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby if it came.
ええ。
It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope.
そうはならんかったと。それはね、しょうがない。でも7月に飲んでる。
And the Glazier's. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity.
エリッ
He was always good at helping out other people's children.
ク。彼の両親と
Simon
エリッ
was
ク。
quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff.
じゃあエリッ
Boys
クかな。
that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time.
だいぶ評価が高いな。陰
Plus, he
陰
had
キャじゃん。
that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
じゃあエリックだな。エリックくん。エリック。わお。これがだいぶ最初の言いに来た時だね。通報しに来た。
He was wearing a
通報という
shirt,
か失踪しましたよっていうの
a
を
blue
警察に
turtleneck
届けに。
shirt and
青い
jeans.
とジーンズ。
He has a watch. It's a really nice one.
Uh-huh.
That was a gift from his boss, Eric.
上司がエリック。なるほど。
Mm,
ガラス屋の上司がエリックで、
a long grey duffel coat,
えー
like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's
Full
not in the house.
後々の証言で、証言のビデオにダッフルコートが見つかりましたっていうのが、こう後のやつに入ってくるかもしれない。
Yes, there's a car that we share,
シャ
a
バリエ。
Cavalier, and a van he
車
uses
全
for
然詳
work.
しくねえから。
It's owned by Eric, but We look after it. Both of them are there now, parked on the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
バンもある。やっぱり。ああ、セダンみたいな。トヨタキャバリーで。まあ、普通の車ってこと。これも同じ日付。
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one.
いろんなこと
He
聞かれ
doesn't
てる。
like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash.
エリックえらい絡んでる。でも逆にエリックでググったら検索して5つしかないっていうのはね、これ5つしかない。
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spent a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
エリックの奥さんはダイヤ。ちょっとどうしようかな。名前でググっていく、検索していくのが一番なんか手っ取り早いけど、なんだっけ？こんだけあるよってことか。じゃあキャバリエでいくか。キャバリエがどこで見つかりましたみたいなのを言って違った。バン。7月、だいぶ後だ。
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy.
全然関係ない話してる。
We were 15.
警察も何聞いとんの？あと何があったっけ？奥さんか。奥さん。なんだこのデータ。
What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair?
浮気し
Well, I didn't kill
て
him.
殺したっていう話を。
I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
この辺で疑われてんのか。赤ちゃん。わ。え？
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday.
これが2日後。
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone.
サイモンの両親ね。
I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back. That's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed and that's when I called the police.
ちょっと待って。電気がちょっと暗くなった。同じ日付の1時間違うな。1時間後ぐらい違う。 20分後ぐらいか。
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. Turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think.
これは疑われてもしょうがないかもしれない。
So I left.
この話の口論になって、で、彼の浮気が発覚して、殺したんじゃないかと。この人の名前知らんけどな。
1984.
俺の生まれた日。生まれた年。
We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring, and my parents died in the summer.
誰が
It was a hot summer. A heat.
何の話?
It was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring, and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer. A heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
1984年か。俺の誕生年ですね。84年。年までいるのか。いや、ここだけだな。ダグ。うわお、ダグ。この辺からダグの話をしてる。
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and
ダグとエレノアって誰だよ。
I feel sorry for them.
待って、死んだって話じゃなかったっけ？
I got a job
10年前
to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon.
待って、サイモンが急に出てきたの。
It's never just been the two of us. There's always been
両親がダグとエレノアなのね。はいはい。赤ちゃんも失ったって言ってたの。
I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people asked, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. When I was there, she was hoovering every day, you know, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage. And she still has a secret like that.
まだ生きてるの？どういう状態？誰の話をしてたの？あんな亡くなり方をしてる。
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in, Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see the shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. But he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
なるほどね。じゃあさっきのゴミ箱、ゴミ袋か。死体ゴミ袋。なんだっけ地下室は多分さっきの話だったね。こっからかしら。
The whole thing was wrong. The bags,
袋ね。死体が入ってたって。
I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there.
父のことは父っていうから、ダグとエレノアは多分サイモンの両親ってことね。
I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
なんだ何が入ってた？あれこれ言及されないやつか？3日後。
Well, fine, considering.
何やってんの
？I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people had been there through my things. It's like I'd been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't lived in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So... It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi. And we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it.
待て。急に確信。
That was my touch.
おい。
To make sure the alibi stuck.
お前小説のラストだけ読まされてるけど、ちょっと待って。は？音楽変わったんだけど。どうした？終わった？待って。時計？もうなんか自白してないここで。
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel.
なんかアリバイに使ったと。
It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time. You must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
グラス。これか。これちょっと待って。
It happened very quickly. We helped each other.
赤ちゃん。
We bagged up the broken mirror.
壊れた鏡。鏡隼人。はい。だいぶ前だ、最初。
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H.
Hana.
It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith, I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
Smith.
I mean, it wasn't the present so much, it was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
すれば7月3日のなんかもうめちゃくちゃ自白してるこのシーンにつながるようにストーリーを追っていかなくちゃいけないんだけど、すげえ終わった感の BGM 流れてるのなんだ。俺は
His body. Didn't real.
あ、つまり地下室の袋に彼の死体が入ってたってこと？急に？だって失踪したみたいなやつでしょ。その後なんか7月違う6月30日はなんか和気あいあいと話してたけど。
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think.
彫刻を施したってやつ。
Haven't looked at it since.
Oh.
There's married couple stuff. A stupid argument, nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to.
ないヒントが多すぎる。
No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but
遠いアーカイブから見せてくるから多すぎると確信に迫れないってこと。このキーワード検索は。
Yes. He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
出てきたワードに反応させないとこの7月3日ぐらいのところは多分見れないってことね。7月1日ぐらいの、
It happened very quickly, silently each other. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes, took him down to the scene of an alibi. Wanted to have suspicion on us. The watch.
死体ね。死体。わあ、ギター弾いてる。
The bruise.
花も気になる。
I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
あざ？
I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policeman. I found the body.
死体を見つけたことになって、だから6月27日に死体を見つけてる。
Really?
で、7月1日。なんかおかしいことになってる。
Laid a body on the dock to the wind and the rain till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by on a dreadful wind and rain. And they made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Finger It's against you.
なさそうだ。朝。15日、27日。
Bruise. Oh yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen and the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. I mean, it hurt like hell.
25日に急にあざができてるってことか。で、これが確信の20。
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. when I lost my tooth first,
花
we had to pull out Hannah's to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the
誰
face,
だ花
gave her a huge black eye.
花すみ
That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snuck a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies were synchronized anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
花とこいつはなんかシンクロしてるってこと
Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything.
双子取り
She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl.
あ
Hannah met him first.
花
She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a
どういう状態
virgin.
まなんだ
She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth,
同じ
a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
どういう状態ごめん花にああもうだいぶここでえ
What are you doing talking about Eve?
いいなんだえ
Poor Simon.
あ どういう状態
Yes. My name is Hannah Smith.
あ、ハナスミスなんだ
Shit. Sorry.
え多重人格
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence.
13時
When Hannah was born,
あ
I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead,
あはい
but I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
おろろろ電気が
She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. It was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
確信に迫ってるようで迫ってないようなイーブああなるほ
Well,
ど
my friend Eve.
友達なのね
I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate complicated sometimes. Yes, we'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach. And
で、これを話してるの
I
が、
held her head under, and I kept it out. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her.
話してるのが花ってこと？
But that was it. It was just a moment. I mean, we made up after. It was a love-hate relationship. A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London, and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
嫌われすぎやろ。
My mother called me Eve.
待て待て待て待て待て。待て待て待て待て。ここで、ちょっと待って。これ誰もいない独白なんだよね。多分この後部屋に入ってくるから。
What are you doing talking about Eve?
イブのことなんか話そう。つまりこれと、この人と、これは花で、これはイブで、多重人格違うか。違う。関係ない。確信がわかんないな。もう若版からしかが5つしかね、最初から5番目のクリップだから52個。これ関連ワードでいけるのかな。ああ、いけるのか。いけるんけど、地下室でくぐれてないから、サイモン、プロ。
Like I said before, it was 3, something like that.
何時
I walked in,
お、確信っぽい。
saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room.
何横たわっていた。
His throat had been
喉を切り裂かれて。
There was a lot of blood. Yeah, he was dead. It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently.
誰と
The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken
これ
mirror,
は誰と
her
協力して
clothes.
るのか分かってない。
They're gone.
赤ちゃんでどれだけ出るのか。13個。この後なんだ。赤ちゃん。花。
It's like I told you before. I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of
急に
keys.
この7月3日になって確信を喋ってるのは何
I
なの？
wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
あちゃんはわかんない。サイモンかな。あ、ここで出るの。7月3日だ。もうほぼ確信。
Hannah was so smitten with
花はサイ
Simon.
モンに夢中になる。
She started getting jealous. Didn't want to share. Even the first date. We went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went. Kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems.
似てる。
The next date
同じ
was
風
my
にするっ
turn.
てことね。
At the end, I let him kiss me. But that was it. We didn't want another card on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back.
何の意味が？
After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time. No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs.
むちゃくちゃやっとるの。
Parks and
同
alleyways.
じじゃないと気が済まない。花と。
I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD.
めちゃくちゃやっとるな。
When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it.
なんでる。
We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
おお。不思議すぎん関係が。
Hannah had a miscarriage.
おお、おいおいおいおい。
This was late in the pregnancy, and it left her infertile.
急
Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again.
サイモンどうのこうのより花どうのこうのなのかな。
Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then
なるほど。 多分こっちは
I got in the car and I
どっ
drove.
ちだイブ
I just kept driving north. Just
Same
kept
got
going,
that.
just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired.
うん
I just had to sleep.
でタクシーにぶつかったって話だったね。すげえ電気が消えそうになってくる。
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went
なんか
past.
タクシーにぶつかったみ
I
たい
got
な
some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone, and then headed back.
ここで花に電話かけたけどっていう話だったね。さっきの話だと。
No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning. When I arrived in Glasgow, I was
さっき同じ
exhausted.
話してる。
The streets were empty.
ああ、これで
I
言っ
was
てる。
driving
最初に言えや。
badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on
め
me.
ちゃめちゃやな。
But
警
I
察
told
で
him I
話
was
す問題じゃない。
pregnant. He made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out.
じゃあ、
It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
ちょっと待って。20時56。同じ日付だけど、髪を下ろしているときはイブで、髪を上げてるときは、花。グラスゴー。イブ。タクシー。妊娠。電話。来た。なんか、5個だから、あと5個ぐらいあるんだよ、グラスゴーで。したい。はい。この日付なんだ ?7 月1日。
What did your wife do? Because he was having an affair. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me.
あれおお。これは
I thought it made me sound suspicious. It's not a normal thing to do to drive to the other end of the country. I wanted to keep it simple. I know it was stupid not to tell you everything.
グラスゴー
Saying
に
I
か
spent
か
the
っ
night in Glasgow when my husband went missing, I thought it would, distract you from what was important. It's different now. Now he's...
4月2日
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital.
病院。ああ。じゃあ、殺された。ああ。1日か。
It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford. Rehearsed? You ask me the same question, you'll get the same answer. Is that your evidence? Of course I thought about what happened then. It's all I've thought about.
こっちが多分、強気の方は割とイブってことかな。このギターを弾いてたり。ギターあれギターなんだった？うわお。
No. No, Simon didn't play guitar.
これは多分、
He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf.
花かな？
Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar.
これがイブなのかな？
You want me to play something?
弾いて。
I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning. No. It's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street. Sisters came walking by the sea.
なんかこの歌詞が証言になるのならんので言ってたけど。
The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So they both had a love for the captain's son.
イブを海に押し付けたみたいな話でした。で、息子がサイモンなのかな。で、妹がカナで、姉が姉は妹をでもさっきの押さえつけたのはイブを押さえつけたこの歌詞がちょっとしたヒントになっているのかな。さっきの、さっきのギターどうやって出したんだっけ？検索ワード。で、13件。あれ。どれだっけな。ガラス7件。あ、この傷じゃない。どれだ？なんか すげえギターで歌ってるやつどれだ？めちゃくちゃ黄色なんだ。あとなんだこれ。まあ、大体概要は分かったけど、発見？おお。
Yes. I'll take a lie detector
嘘
test.
発見器の発見か。短。
I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work? My name. That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works.
イブが間違えたこと。
My mother called me Eve.
花が間違いだった。こいつはイブってことか。スミス。
My name is Hannah.
My name is Hannah.
H-A-N-N-A-H. It's a palindrome. It reads the same. My name is Hannah. H.
ここで、花って言ってたの。タグ付けを個別に言うの？花ね。花か。タグをつけてれば関係ないのかな、これ。時計も意味あんのかな。証拠。ああ。
Really? Okay.
これ2回目ってこ
What's
と
the
ね。
rest? Oh, they laid a body on the doctor. Oh, the wind and the rain. Till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows.
サイモンとイブと
Oh, the
花
wind
の、
and the rain.
関連性
Yes,
を
he made fiddle pegs from her finger bows. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
10個以上というか5個以上を、検索
Anything you sing, maybe.
で出てくるワードを、削っていけば っていうことかな。ここがものすごいね。一緒。ああ。の後だね。口論。C。喉。喉でもいけるんじゃない？多分、イブね。
How? Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
殺しとるやんけ。ちょっと割と確信が。弁護士。おお。最初だね。
Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me?
7月2日だ。
No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you.
イブだね。
Yes, I understand my rights. No, I don't need a lawyer.
で、急におとなしくなって。この辺丸々すっぽりね。なんか、サイモン52はやばいね。彼女。わお。
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince. And Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind. But she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
何の話？実績ハッピーエンドどう？
Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's
半ば出てるけど、
because he's ill.
真相に言ったら
He might die.
こうでしたみたいなやつをさ言ってくんないのは
It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure I do.
まあこうなんだろうなぐらいの考え方をするしかないのか。
She's crying, I guess.
精神
She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But
花なのね。
it's okay because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine.
ここは精神分析をする。
Okay. She's being chased. They're trying to catch her because she did something bad. I guess she broke the rules. Or maybe they think she did something bad. Maybe it wasn't her fault. She looks scared, not guilty. Maybe it was mistaken identity. Did they catch her there? I don't know.
19別人。
After the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing. No, I was 15. Carl was older, 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It was stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family. Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon. Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality.
でもイブと
It's an
花
apple
は
and a snake.
歯が取れたら同じ歯を取るって言ってるぐらいだから、同じとこにタトゥー入れてんのかな。
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist. He saw me singing one of my shows, pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was, but he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream. I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
ガラスの歯でなんとかだったかな。凶器。ガラスは7個。あってるね。あれだ。ノート。あら。引っかからんすよ。いる。職人。ああ。プラス50個ぐらいあるのかな。アリバイ。ここだもんね。
It's the Rockington Arms. The Rock. Helen.
ヘレンね。これヘレンなんだっけ？ヘレン。ヘレン。
No. I think he spoke to Helen. He likes Helen. He likes blonde.
ブロンド。わお。
Simon is 6 foot, darkish
あ、
blonde
これサイ
hair,
モンの最初
average
の、
build. He's clean shaven.
創作願いを
If his
出
beard
すの
grows, it goes
出さない
ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo instead of spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have. This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
ウィッグね。ウィッグか。わお。
A wig? You mean... What type of wig?
で、花がイブになるときに被ってると。
I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig?
は嘘ってことね。
This was 9, about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry. The kind of anger you can only have towards yourself.
花が。
We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
でもこの後があるな。花。You.
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, they stayed in the attic.
屋根裏。
Hannah and I I couldn't. So I don't know how to do that.
Wow.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon.
あ、これは花ね。
Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories. Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there? I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all. Passports, diaries, gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights. He has a wallet, a huge, silly thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. Offsets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him. He always takes it out of his back pocket before, when he comes in, if he's in the house. God, I don't know. Could be anyone. Maybe someone follows him back from the pub. But why would he let them in? Doesn't make sense. They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, I mean, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them. No. It was just me and her. It was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week. There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things. Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question?
ここで7月2日で聞かれてる。
Are you out of your mind? Twins? We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes and put them in the bell, and we could send them to each other. Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand them anyway. No, no cat. My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. We never did anything about the cat, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it. Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story was in there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know. Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion. Across the road, when my parents first lived, I was born at the same time. Throttled by midwife. Anna. The baby was dead, but I was dying.
もう一人の子は、花は、 両親と一緒に暮らす。
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight.
そりゃそうですね。
It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different.
自分の
I
子
grew
だとは
up
思わ
looking
れなかっ
out of my window and seeing her across the road.
た。それが花だったことね。近所にいたから。
I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror.
双子だから。
She was me.
この鏡は反応しないの？なるほどね。音楽どんどん増えていく。革新の方には迫ってる。妊娠期。
Can you imagine? I tried. I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused.
妊娠、花と一緒になり
I
た
think
い
my period stopped because hers
だけのた
had.
めに、
I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? I felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate
一
paths.
緒じゃないとダメなのね、イブは。
We had become different. I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic spell. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice.
今度はどうなってる？
I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway,
今度は
but
イブ
3.
が妊娠したと。
I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited.
花は流産したけど、
Hannah and I
イ
went
ブ
to her
が、
birthday and
妊
I
娠。
told her
どん
because
な
I
にやっ
thought
て
she
も
would
妊
be
娠しな
happy
かった
for
のに、
us
サイ
both.
モンの、との子供はで
I
きた
think
と。
she was.俺は、じゃあ、息子ってこと？イブの息子ってこと？イブ。なぜこんなことをしたのか。嫉妬とかそういうこと？じゃあ、なぜあんなことをしたのか。待て。花答え合わせんのかい？嘘、ここに来て答え合わせ。君のお母さんは、ガラス？違う。あんなことをしたの？妊娠？赤ちゃん？どんなこと？はい。サラ？
サラって誰？君のお母さん、サラ。あ、だから、この時に妊娠して生まれた子供はサラってことね。じゃあ結局、花はどうなの？最後は。でもまだアーカイブがめちゃくちゃあるんだよね。まあ、断片が多すぎるけど。まあ、でも、ほぼ確信はつけてると思うんだよね。だから、まず最初に、助産婦のフローレンスっていう人がいて、で、双子で生まれた片っぽを、つまりイブを、つまり近所の助産婦だったから、近所の助産婦さんが連れて行ってしまって、まあ、死んでしまったということにして、まあ、へその緒がね、首に絡まったから。でも実は生きてて、で、近所に住むから、もともと双子で生まれてくるはずだったアナとイブはめちゃくちゃそっくりで、で、嫉妬に駆られて、なんだっけ。まあ、あれは、殺そうとしてるみたいな話をしてたのは、イブが、本当は、話してたから、それを近所の子供に、花として話してるから、近所の子供をイブとして喋ってるわけね。で、イブをこう殺そうとしたっていうのは、多分、あれは逆で、イブが花を、海にこう、漬け込んで殺そうとしたっていう話なのかな。嫉妬で。で、それ以来、一緒じゃないと、気が済まなくなって歯も抜いたり、っていうことかな。わお。ヒアストーリー。まあ、おおむねで、サイモンが、まあ、いろんな人と、まあ、出会ってカールとかともあったけど、まあ、それはバレてしまって、みたいな。それがあって、サイモンと出会って、まあ、二人とも双子なので、同時に好きになって、で、花の方が抜け駆け、イブはキスだけにしたけど、花は次入れ替わった時のデートで、一緒に寝るっていうか、抜け駆けをして、で、その一晩で妊娠してしまった。で、それがあって、双子、イブはなんか、その花と双子、一心同体、痛い同心じゃないと嫌っていう思いがあって、もう誰でもいいからとにかく妊娠しなくちゃっていう謎の使命感だったけど、妊娠できない。でも、花は、流産してしまった。で、今度は、これサイモンが知ってたかどうかわかんないけど、まあ、入れ替わって、サイモンとの暮らしを楽しんでたんだけど、その時にまた、今度はイブが妊娠してしまって、で、それを知ったから、口論になってガラスで、花がサイモンの首をかっ切ったのかな。で、それで生まれたのがサラってわけ。今検索してたのね、主人公なのかな。それをもっとアーカイブを遡っていけば本当のもっと詳しい内情がわかるのかもしれないけど、間がねぶち抜かれてるから、俺のあれは探ったやつは検索はじっくり検索をしていこうかなと思ったな。なんか面白かった。ではというところかなっていう、本当の話はわかりません。では、一旦の終了。